Hey everybody, it's Root Beer. Bushiroad recently had its strategy presentation, and we got a whole bunch of news about its new TCGs. So let's go and chat about it. We're gonna look at this handy little PDF that was put together by Freedom Duo. I'll put a link in the description. It's got all the slides from the presentation plus helpful translations for it. So first off, we have the new season of Will Dress, which is gonna start airing in July. I haven't been following the anime too much, but it looks like the new season is really going to be dictating like how we get support. So since we're back to that, I might actually start paying attention again. And then season 2 of Will Dress will be in winter of 22, and then season 3 is scheduled for summer of 23. Next, we're getting news about the new trial deck. So in Japan, at least, it's going to be released July 22nd. That'll probably be different for us in the English format. We'll probably have our own separate announcement, and that announcement will probably come right after I upload this video, so we get to record another video in case we get, like, more news in the English. But, for all of us who follow the JP reveals, this is going to dictate what we're probably going to see the next month is just all of these new TD cards. And then the first release of these are going to include sleeves. It looks like they're going to be character sleeves. I highly doubt we're going to get this in the English version because we are the unfavorite child and also logistical problems. Card sleeves are expensive and Bushiroad doesn't want to pay us for that. And then it looks like a new thing they're going to do is that the trial decks are going to include these tutorial cards. So you can kind of see they have little illustrations on them that tell you like how the game works. So looks like this card is telling you about how you ride up, and then this one tells you how boost works. And then they're going to include an expansion pack, which I assume are just going to be normal versions of all these tutorial cards. So once you figure out how to play the game, you don't have to go and keep playing with baby mode on. And then we have information about Booster Set 6 that's going to come out on August 5th in Japan. So that'll probably be all of our July reveals, interspersed with the trial deck. And then they're going to be reprinting Overtriggers, so rest in peace any hopes of them banning these stupid things anytime soon. They're going to be issuing new Sentinels, which are different units but have the same ability as the existing ones, so if you have one or less cards in hand, they just get their PG for free. And then basic triggers that are just new units. These are always nice every now and then just to keep them accessible. You don't want ancient triggers that everyone needs to have in their deck and can't find anymore. Next we have new rarities, so they're introducing frame rares and double frame rares, and there was a funny little moment on Twitter where the EN Twitter mistranslated it as flame rares, which honestly sounded cooler, but this makes more sense. They look fine. They put a border around the card. Honestly, I feel like I actually would just prefer an SP because those are just much cleaner, but I guess they're trying something new. And then we have information on Lyrical Set 3. Ugh. Look, we did like an entire video just about how much I hate this, and then I made an entire lyrical shit post about this, so I'm not super looking forward to this one because they're introducing a whole bunch of new ride lines and no indication that they're going to be supporting any of the old ones, even though those still need help. But yeah, Lyrical Set 2 in September. Woo. And then, same thing with these. These are going to get the frame rares. And, same thing as the Set 6. We're going to get reprinting the Overtriggers. We're going to get new Sentinels and new basic triggers. Although this one, they're using illustration of an existing trigger, so they might just be reprinting the old ones. We're also getting Monster Strike Booster 2. Yay. I sure love Monster Strike. Do we even get these in English? Like, Monster Strike shut down in English, so I remember there was, like, really dubious whether or not we were actually going to ever get these, but And as always, for some reason, Bushiroad insists on putting Collabs and Lyrical back to back, so for a lot of people, there's probably going to be just like 2 dead months. And then, the thing that everyone has been talking about from this presentation, we have a new ban list. I'm sure it's going to be super amazing, on point, and based, and yeah, this ban list sucks. So, in Standard, they are restricting Darkstrain Dragon to 1. This is completely baffling. I don't think Bastion is the most powerful and oppressive deck in Standard. I have no idea why they're hitting this. The only explanation that I could think of while I was going through this is that Bastion lists more or less haven't changed since set 1, so, like, the only explanation that I can think of is that there is an alternative to Darkstrain in the order that gives everything boost, so they're restricting this to 1 just to make you play something else. Like, that is the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, it makes absolutely no sense that, like, a solid but not, like, best of the best deck is suddenly being nerfed for no reason. Next, we have Magnolia, where you're being choice restricted between the Grade 4 Mag and Inlet Pulse Dragon. So, Magnolia is probably, like, one of the strongest decks in the format. Like, definitely top 3. I think it's maybe debatable whether it's the top of the top meta, especially with, like, Kyrie being able to do similar things. So, Inlet Pulse had a really strong interaction with Magnolia because you had that one rear guard where I think if you have 3 or less, it gives things resist. And so Inlet Pulse Dragon could put itself into the soul to draw a card if you made 4 or more attacks that turn. So what you could do is you attack with your Inlet Pulse Dragons, put it into soul, and then whatever rear guards are still in the board probably get resist. So you make really strong aggro plays while still protecting the rest of your board from removal. So it makes sense that they want to maybe limit this interaction because, you know, Inlet Pulse Dragon was originally a Flagberg card, so this could just be restricting it just because, you know, on principle, and this is the first opportunity they've had since this card came out. I don't think, like, Standard has had any kind of super oppressive meta right now. Like, Magnolia is fine. It's a very strong deck, but there are still a lot of other options. Prison is also really strong. Kyrie is up there. You know, Bastion also just got hit, but, like, Bastion and Bruce are still playable. Gravidia and Borrow Magnus are posting a lot of results recently for Springfest, so I feel like Standard has had a pretty healthy and diverse meta as of set 4, and this sudden restriction just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It feels like they're just trying to nerf the top decks to force diversity. Like, maybe they're not happy with the reaction that set 5 had. Maybe it just didn't have the impact they wanted it to. So for V Standard, they are just outright banning KFC here, and I've heard that apparently there's some 3-card combo that turns this into like a Hamiel situation, but I don't know. I feel like V Premium has so many other like problem decks right now. Like Percival to 1 and Gold Paladin is still topping everywhere. Like Gogurt is in all of the topping lists for Springfest. Prisms are still incredibly strong despite hits on the last list, so is Luard. So I don't know. I feel like a 3-card Hamiel combo is maybe not the top priority. And we're getting the new Liberator Dragon that lets you ride from deck, so that's just Percival copies 2 through 5. And this is the card they decided was ban-worthy. Excuse me, need to hydrate. It just doesn't make any sense. Same thing with this Kagero dude, where you can, like, Soul Blast 3 grade 3s, I think it was, to make your opponent retire a total of 6 cards from hand or field. And so I have to imagine that it's being banned for similar reasons as the grade 3 in V, where somebody figured out some stupid interaction with this card and they want to get rid of it as soon as possible. But like, we have Gridora, and then all of the V premium stuff that's super broken is probably also going to be a problem in premium. I know with the upcoming Vowing Saber Reverse, a lot of people are worried about that with Stunverse, so it just seems like there are other priorities in these two formats that Bushiroad could be taking a look at, and they're just not. We are probably going to have a different ban list in the EN format, but given their track record last time, it's going to be these same restrictions plus some other marginal changes. You know, like, they probably should just hit Prisms at this point. You know, I like Bermuda. It would suck to see, like, Rosa, for, let's say, like, get banned, but probably needs to happen for the health of the game, you know? Even if they were to hit, like, Vert, for example, the Prism engine is still really strong with all the new duo cards that just got released. Just seems like it's time to shake up the format a little, since the last ban list did not do that. But I guess we'll see. Anyways, so this is the release calendar for in Japan. So in July, they're going to get all the new trial decks, and at the beginning of August, we're also going to get set 6. Beginning of September, we're getting Lyrical 3. BT7 is coming at the end of September, and then it looks like we're getting the new Monster Strike pack, at the end of October. So we do have a little buffer of set 7 and Monster Strike, so it's not quite as terrible. And then SS02 in November, so I think that's like special series, like the festival collection stuff, so I guess we're gonna have that in November. Hopefully they'll like intersperse those reveals with the Monster Strike ones, so we have something to chew on. And then BT8 in December. And I believe that's everything. I don't know if I think these are all like other games. Yeah, these are all other games. So that's everything for like the Vanguard list. So, there was one more thing. Hang on a second. Let me just pause real quick. Alright, so yeah, that was everything for the TCG presentation slides on Freedom Duo's PDF. However, there was one more announcement I want to talk about, which is Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days. So this is going to be a digital game being released with all of like the standard cards. So we have a new way to play Cardfight Vanguard online, but there are two things that are getting everyone really hyped. So first off, this announcement is all in English on the EN Twitter, so it seems like we have a very good shot of this coming to English, but also this little logo right here in the corner, everyone is freaking out about that because it means this game is going to be on Steam, so this could be really big for us. Ever since, like, the Panorama and the release of Master Duel, I think a lot of people have been begging Bushiroad to have some kind of online client. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be that, just because, you know, first off, the name, like, Vanguard Deer Days, it seems like a very specific thing. It's got, like, a main character with a setting behind her, so, you know, some kind of story mode. It seems like this may be a one-off game at the moment, and the announcement only says that the standard format cards will be available, so, you know, it's not quite the all-encompassing online client that I think we're all hoping for, but it's a really important first step. Like, there are a lot of people who just can't go to locals for whatever reason. Like, you know, the Panini is still going. Some people maybe just don't have the locals, or it's really far out of the way. They're busy whenever their locals are doing Vanguard stuff. So having this on Steam will be much more accessible for a lot of people. And then if it does really well, there's a possibility that we can also like bring in a whole load of new players. Master Duel has kind of had a whole host of different problems over the course of its short lifespan so far, and upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! Metas don't look like they're going to be particularly fun, so if this manages to hit at the right time, there's a very strong chance that we might be able to steal some of that player base. I believe this was announced for winter of 2022. Yeah, planned for release this winter, so here's hoping that this turns out really good. Best case scenario, this game is a success, and Bushiroad decides to support it long term. So this can just become the card fight online that we're missing. But even if it isn't, even if the game is relatively short-lived, I think this still has a lot of potential to show Bushiroad that we as a player base really care about having an online client to play with. And maybe this will be our road to getting a proper card fight online. We'll see. And I believe that's everything we have to talk about with the TCG presentation. I'm sure that within a day or two of this video coming out, Bushiroad will probably release all of its EN version of this news, and we'll have to do this all over again with the EN ban list, but I guess we'll see. For now, thank you for watching, everybody. If you like the video, please do all the things that make algorithms happy. Oh god, I have to go remember all of our patrons right now. I need to pause the video again. Okay, if you like our stuff, you can support us on Patreon. Thank you to our $10 patrons, Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, and Mewwill. So $10 will give you early access to videos that are not news videos or the podcast, so like pack openings, all of my random shit posts, deck profiles, things like that. And $5 and more gives you a whole ass bonus show, and the $10 also gets you a shout out like I did just now. I am very good at doing these Patreon reads, as you can tell by the fact that it's different every time. We also have a promo code at night at 50cards.shop, so if you order cards from them, consider using our code for 5% off your order. And we also have merch, there's a link in the description for that. We also have playmats for sale on Inked Gaming, link is also in the description. You can follow our show on Twitter at Nexus at Night, or on Instagram also at Nexus at Night. You can follow Atlas at Twitter or Instagram at Atlas Novak. Matt on Twitter is at Wiggums 2Gs 2Zs, and you can find me, Root Beer, at Plasma Eclipse. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye.